When I was a kid, I had a dream, and the dream was to see the mountains. When I became an adult, one of my dreams was to see an active volcano erupting before my eyes. In 2023, I was able to make it happen. It wasn't just luck or being at the right place at the right time. I had to make several attempts traveling to Iceland when I finally saw this. On March 19, 2021, the first eruption began in the Geldingadalir Valley on Reykjanes Peninsula. This marked the first eruption in this area in approximately 6,000 years. It drew a lot of global attention due to its accessibility and unique visual impact. I was following it since the day one through the live cameras. Unfortunately, I couldn't fly out to see it. I live in Estonia, by the way. 6 months later, I was able to travel to Iceland on September 9th. The volcano still erupted at times, but it was getting more rare as the time went by. I held my hopes up to still see it and hike near it. On September 11th, I spent some quality time at Sky Lagoon. By the way, I advise this lagoon instead of Blue Lagoon, but I'm not going to dive into it right now. Later, I walked out of the lagoon and noticed the sky was fully red in the dark towards the Reykjanes Peninsula. I immediately knew what was going on. The volcano has erupted again. I was pretty much stunned by what I was seeing and took this photo. That was just insane to see. Little did I know that the volcano was actually taking its last breaths. This is the last, or one of the last flare-ups of the 2021 eruption. My plan was to hike up the eruption site the following day. Maybe I'm lucky to see the eruption, or if not, then just newly born crater. The weather had other plans though. It was bad to say the least, more like severe, and not the day for a hike in the mountains, so I cancelled it. Once I drove around Iceland for 2.5 weeks, for the second time, I planned to do the volcano hike at the end of my travels. In the meantime, the eruption had been announced to be officially over. I still hoped to see the crater, but once again, the weather was extreme. I made a short attempt and got sandblasted hard halfway up the mountain. I cancelled the hike again. Still, I got to see the new lava fields. It's just so amazing to see the new landscape that is just a couple of months old. I could still feel the heat emanating from the hardened lava. Even though I failed to really see the eruption, I still considered the Iceland trip to be a success. Even seeing the hardened new lava was a win for me. And after all, I got to see so many spectacular places during my 2.5 weeks. Since it was my second time driving around route number 1 around the country, I had all the time to visit lesser known places and hike amazing trails where tourists usually won't go due to lack of time and being off the beaten path. On August 3rd, a second eruption happens in Meradalir Valley, a little bit further north than the last eruption. The new eruption pumped out even more lava than the first one. After the beginning of the eruption, I immediately bought the tickets and was able to go in 2.5 weeks. I thought this eruption will go on for a while as well, as did the last one. Well, I thought. I arrived on Iceland 22nd of August. The eruption ended on 21st of August. I had failed again. Thank you Gylfi or just Icelandic for this footage, so I can still show you what it looked like. Anyway, I hoped that it will resume erupting, but it didn't. All activity ceased to be in the previous day. I was disappointed, but I still took 18-kilometer hike to the eruption site. Unfortunately, I didn't film this time while traveling there, so I have no good footage. What I have is some photos and the Snapchat footage. Even though I didn't see the eruption itself, I still got to see the massive main crater of 2021 eruption. It was much larger than it looked like on videos. Photos don't do any justice here. And I got to see the new crater that erupted just some hours ago. It was still smoking and releasing gases. The heat in the area was intense. I was quite far away from the new lava fields, but the wind brought all the heat to me. It smelled like a box of matches there. Probably sulfur. When I was done with the hike, I spent my evening next to Grindavik town, enjoyed the beer and the gorgeous sunset, took on a couple of hikes off the beaten path, some locations so random that even a trail didn't exist in these places. I got extremely lucky with the weather. The second day was sunny and calm, just perfect. Here I have a photo that I took while leaving Grindavik. A view like this does not exist there anymore due to the eruptions this year that have plagued the area. In fact, the same exact spot might not even exist because this road is partly buried under lava now. I took it randomly, but now I see it as a historic photo. On July 10th, 2023, the third eruption began. I followed it closely on webcams again. The moment it started erupting, I bought the flight tickets. This time 8 days in advance. Ja seal taga on näha vulkaanipurset, mis on suitsev. I arrived in Iceland on 18th July. This time, however, I did not fail to see the volcano. I wasted no time, and after a quick food stop in Grindavik, I was off to the volcano trail. This time, the eruption was 10 kilometers away from where I was able to park the car. The terrain was rugged, and Icelanders had not yet built a decent footpath to the new eruption sites. This is my hike to finally see the new eruption. Since I never intended this video to end up on YouTube, I spoke in Estonian. If you are using YouTube subtitles, then I recommend to turn them off now, because I added English subtitles on the video. Sulfur. Ja igast deposiidid, mis maapinnast välja tuleb koos lavaga. See, mis seal näha on eelmise aasta kraater. No. Ja siin samas kohas ma käisin ka vähem kui aasta tagasi, aga ma ei näinud seda purset, sest ma jäin 2 päeva hiljaks. Ja nüüd me üritame sinna uue purske juurde minna, nüüd on siit veel paar kilomeetrit sinna poole. Aga seal peaks olema väga hea viewpoint. Officially see rada on closed, aga tundub, et seda ehitatakse siin, kuna seal taga on mingisugune buldooser. Ja siit, kus me kõnnime, on nagu näha, et siia on üritatud mingisugune rada luua, et inimestel elu vähe kergemaks teha, kes tahavad vulkaani minna vaatama. Oh damn, sellest tuleb üles minna. See on päriselt palju suurem, kui kaameralt tundub. Ja järsem. When I arrived on scene, I sat speechless for about 15 minutes. I couldn't find the words to describe it. It was just so powerful, a raw force of the earth. New landscape being created in real time. The location to view it on a hill was also perfect, to stare right into the spatter cone. See on amazing vaadata. Seda on lihtsalt raske kuidagi sõnades kirjeldada, kuidas sa seda päris elus oma silmaga näed. See on palju suurem. See kuskil piltidel või videotel tundub palju massiivsem ja sa tunned seda soojust ja kuumust siiani välja. Kuigi ma arvan, me oleme siuke
ma arvan, me oleme mingi 1 kilomeeter, äkki mitte võib-olla ma arvan, me oleme mingi 900 meetrit, pigem 1 kilomeetrit.
After an hour and a half later, I made a way down the hill to get the really close view to the molten lava. I was able to get as close as 5 meters from the glowing lava, but only for a short while, because it's still 1100 degrees Celsius, or about 2000 Fahrenheit.
See sein, mis siin on, see kõrgem sein, liigub kogu aeg siia poole. Tükid kukuvad siit küljest kogu aeg, ma arvan, et need on kohe kuulda ka mõnda. Ma panin just enne video kinni ja mingi pool seina varises alla.
It's crazy to think that this place, this location where I was at the time, it does not exist anymore. Because today it's buried under lava.
No vaat, kui laki ma nüüd olin, et selle peale sain. Kui tihti sa saad visata kivi laavasse? Ei ole kuigi igapäevane tegevus. Ma viskasin täiesti mööda. Teeme uuesti. Teine katse. Laavasse tuli mõlk. Aga see hääl on siuke nagu klaas praguneks või painduks või kräkiks ühesõnaga. Väga huvitav. Lava teeb igast huvitavaid hääli, apparently. Tänaseks siis käidud. See oli amazing. See oli kuradi amazing. Ma arvan, et mul on väga raske leida asja. Kurdi videos mul ei ole sõnu nagu väljendamaks, kui nagu eriline see vaatepilt on. Kell on 1 öösel, 1 läbi. Ja nüüd on meile umbes 2 tundi haikida tagasi parklasse. Päike hakkab vaikselt tõusma seal vulkaani suitsu seest. Kell on 2:14.
During the past year, 4 more eruptions have happened on Reykjanes Peninsula. On December 2023, March 2024, May 2024, and August 2024, clearly indicating the reactivation of volcanic activity on the peninsula. Those 4 more recent eruptions have not been so harmless, destroying the infrastructure, by that I mean roads, power lines, water pipes connecting towns, and major damage in Grindavik, which includes 3 burned down houses due to lava flow in January. Icelandic Meteorological Office map shows where the new lava has covered the landscape in purple. The brightest purple is the result of the most recent eruption in August. Icelanders managed to build protective walls around the power plants and around the town of Grindavik. Those walls have saved these places several times now and hopefully continue to do so, because new eruptions in the area are most likely on the way. After every volcanic eruption, the land uplift near Blue Lagoon has resumed, and after reaching the certain ground thresholds, a new event happens. This is also the case at the moment of making this video in November 2024. A new eruption is most likely underway and might happen during the next month. No one can pinpoint the time exactly, but the ground uplift data and earthquake activity provide some valuable information in predicting the next event. Nobody knows how long the active period on Reykjanes Peninsula will last exactly, but judging by the historical evidences, it can be anywhere between 30 years to centuries. Some scientists think that this is only a beginning to a much larger events happening, but only time will tell. Without stretching this video to be too long, this was my journey to see the eruption in person, and I can't wait to travel back to Iceland to see the changes in landscape and take on some more epic hikes. Thank you for watching and have a great day.